Latte. Night. Phones across 12 US cities vibrate at the exact same moment. A loud emergency tone breaks the silence. Text on screen. Do not go outside. It was a Tuesday, just like any other. Rain lashed against the windows, a rhythmic drumming that usually calmed my nerves. I was working late, lost in the glow of my computer screen, trying to finish up a report that was already past its deadline. The office was empty. A silent, cavernous space that amplified every little sound, the hum of the servers, the creak of my chair, the endless rain. That's when it happened. A small, black box flickered into existence in the corner of my monitor. It wasn't a system notification or an email pop-up. It was just there. Inside, a single line of white text pulsed faintly. Do not open the door. Primera staré at it, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. A prank. A virus. I tried to click on it, to drag it, to close it, but my cursor passed right through as if it were a ghost on my screen. I even rebooted the system, but the black box was the first thing to reappear, right there on the login screen. Do not open the door. My heart started to beat a little faster. It was probably just a glitch, a weird bug from the latest software update. But as I watched, another line of text began to materialize. Slowly, letter by letter. Beneath the first one, if you hear knocking, it spelled out, do not respond. A chill snaked its way down my spine, cold and sharp. The rain against the glass sounded less like a calming pitter-patter and more like frantic tapping. I glanced at the heavy oak door of my office, its brass handle gleaming in the dim light. This was ridiculous. I was a rational person. This was just a computer glitch. But before I could fully convince myself, before I could even take a proper breath, the alert vanished. Poof. Gone. Leaving my desktop looking completely normal, the half-finished report staring back at me innocently. The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. Even the rain seemed to have stopped. And then I heard it. Knock. 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 It came from the main entrance to the office suite, down the long, dark hallway. It was a slow, deliberate sound, not a frantic banging, but a patient, rhythmic rap. Every instinct screamed at me to stay put, to heed the phantom warning. The words echoed in my mind. Do not respond. I held my breath, listening. The seconds stretched into an eternity. Silence. Maybe it was just the security guard on his rounds. Maybe it was a coworker who'd forgotten something. But the knocking came again, this time on the door of my own office. Knock. 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 My blood ran cold. No one could have gotten down the hallway that fast without me hearing their footsteps. I was frozen in my chair, my eyes glued to the door. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying for it to stop. The alert had been specific. Do not respond, so I stayed silent. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. The knocking stopped. A wave of relief washed over me, so potent it almost made me dizzy. I waited, listening to the frantic pounding of my own heart. A minute passed. Then two. It was over. It was just a weird, inexplicable event. I finally let out the breath I'd been holding and sagged back in my chair. My hands were shaking. I decided I'd had enough for one night. I'd pack up and get out of there. As I reached for my bag, a soft, familiar chime came from my computer. It was a new email notification. The subject line was blank. My curiosity, stronger than my fear, got the better of me. I clicked it open. The body of the email contained a single sentence. Good. You listened. Now, let me in. And from under my desk, I heard a soft, polite tapping. Knock. 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 Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Morning news plays. No mention of the alert. Officials call it a system glitch. People doubt themselves. Did it even happen? The rain had been relentless all day, a constant drumming against the windows of my small, isolated house. It was just another Tuesday night, or so I thought. I was curled up on the sofa, a half-read book in my lap. The silence of the house broken only by the storm outside. That's when I heard it. Soft, slow knocking at the front door. It was so faint, I almost dismissed it as a branch tapping against the wood. 3 knocks. A pause, then 3 knocks again. My heart skipped a beat. Nobody ever came this late, especially not in this weather. I crept to the hallway, my eyes fixed on the security monitor. The screen showed nothing but static. The camera feed dead. A cold dread washed over me. The knocking came again, louder this time. More insistent. 3 sharp raps that echoed through the silent house. I held my breath, listening. The only sound was the storm and the frantic beating of my own heart. Who was out there? And why did it feel like they already knew I was alone? The power suddenly flickered and died, plunging the house into absolute darkness. And the knocking started again, no longer soft, but a heavy, rhythmic pounding that seemed to shake the very foundations of the house. Some people open their doors. Others step outside to check. Nothing there, just empty streets and complete silence. Next morning, phones are wiped clean. Photos, videos, messages, all gone, except one image left behind. A blurry selfie appears on screen. The person is smiling, but the camera is focused behind them. Something tall and dark stands there. Imagine a world just like ours, bathed in the constant, soft glow of screens. Now, picture this. One morning, a silent, unseen signal pulses across the entire globe. It's a message, simple and stark, appearing on every single device, from the most advanced supercomputers in secret government labs to the humble digital watch on your wrist. Everyone, everywhere, wakes up to the same 3 cryptic words. The sky is not empty. Think about the chaos, panic, a wildfire in our digital age. Spreads instantly. News channels go into a frenzy, looping footage of bewildered crowds, their faces all turned upwards, searching a sky that looks exactly the same as it did the day before. Governments around the world convene emergency sessions. The greatest minds on the planet wrestle with the message's origin, and it's terrifying. Unknown intent, is it a threat, promise of something to come, or just the most elaborate, widespread prank in human history? Days bleed into weeks, and the message remains. It's a constant, unnerving presence on every screen, a digital ghost haunting our collective consciousness. The world, once a loud, chaotic symphony of a million different voices, now hums with a single, shared obsession. What does it mean? Who sent it, and what happens next? People start forming theories. Online forums explode with speculation, and a deep-seated anxiety settles over humanity. The normalcy we once took for granted feels like a distant memory. The world holds its breath, waiting. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the message vanishes. Every screen goes back to normal. A collective sigh of relief ripples across the planet, so loud you can almost hear it. The world slowly begins to forget. People want to move on, to dismiss the whole bizarre event as a massive technological glitch, a temporary mass hallucination fueled by our hyper-connected lives. It becomes a weird footnote in history, a story we'll tell our kids. Remember that one time when all the screens said the sky wasn't empty? It's easier to forget than to face the unknown, but for a select few, the story was far from over. In a hidden room, far from the public eye and the relentless news cycle, the true purpose of the global alert was just beginning to crystallize. These weren't politicians or media, they were observers, watchers. They had seen the chaos, the fear, the unity, and the eventual, predictable forgetting. And in that quiet room, they understood a chilling truth. The alert was never meant to be a warning. It wasn't sent to save people. It was a test, a filter. It was sent to see who would listen, who would remember, and who would keep watching the sky long after everyone else had looked away. The real message wasn't what was on the screen. It was about who was still paying attention when the screen went blank. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy stories that make you think, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.